liberty and justice for all.
All right. Motion to approve the agenda. No changes to the agenda. Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes of the September 26th, 2022 Park Board meeting.
Do you guys have any changes for me?
No.
I'll motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Signing of per diem slips, I already did. Good there. Secretary's report?
No report?
No report. Treasurer's report?
Easy little one. August cleanings, needs to clean. We had 10 on one invoice, and we had 9 for the September cleans. And that car parts were red, that somebody called and had to come out. Those 3 we needed were.
You have a copy of that because it wasn't on the report.
Yeah, we didn't get it in our packet.
Just so I
She sent them
can,
out early.
when I do minutes, I can note the
Yeah, that's fine.
exacts for those.
Yeah, I'm right.
Is that easy this time? We don't have to do the whole
I know,
thing we've been
right?
doing before? That was useless.
If it's all under a certain amount.
Yeah,
we
When
can
I
just-
minutes them, I list
I
them
don't know.
before approving everything.
Yeah, so.
What's the
motion
total
For what?
for all the,
Oh, because you didn't get, okay. I see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Right.
so I can note it in minutes.
Yeah.
Because they weren't attached, so I won't attach it.
But the whole going through and like everybody saying yes to every single item.
I think we have to for these.
Outside of our
individual
standard
ones, so-
consumers.
Outside of our normal bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have the August cleanings, 9 at CARR, 1 at Samaria for $875.
Yep.
There's 2 mates clean.
Yep.
I motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
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 The next one is all the September cleanings for 2 mates. It was 9 of them here at CARR again, $780, $750. I'll motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Aye.
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 And the third one is Bliss Nursery. They came out and did the leaks that were going on here and cleaned that up. $65 bill for them to come out. I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Oh, sorry, aye.
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 All the others are showing our rental
Yeah.
positive, the cell tower positive, and a consumer's bill. Which is our standard electric bill for Parmalee.
Right.
Do you need this back?
Community Ed, I got a report from Nancy. She doesn't have a report for this month. She's going to come to our next meeting. I know Aaron said he wanted to talk about it first. I didn't put it on this agenda because there's a lot going on here. If we want to do it next meeting, then I can ask her to wait till the following meeting because I don't think it's
You're
fair.
saying us internally,
Right.
right?
Right, and I didn't think she
We'd
would
love to
be
be
here
here.
for that, so.
I can
I'll just
tack,
let her know. I'll just let
Yeah,
her
I mean,
I can tack on for ComEd because I met with Chrissy, who's running the cooking class. They're using this building. It started this past Thursday. It went off great. They've got 8 students in the class, 6 or 8. 6:15 to 7:45 here. They do like a book in a session and then cook and they make cookies. But they're using it. It's 4 Thursdays every other Thursday here. But it started this past Thursday, just so you guys know.
I just came from community ed soccer at Indian Creek, which doesn't look
Strong.
that bad.
Yeah.
Doing okay over there. Yeah, I don't know, I just think, more programs in our facilities makes more sense for 25K. But if we get there, I guess we'll get on the agenda next time. It's fine.
Okay, that leads us to the presentation by Myrna. She came to the township, she talked with Al, she talked with Paul. They gave me a call and they said, would we listen to her presentation, try and help her find an area somewhere in the township where this would be appropriate. So that's kind of where we're at, we'll listen to her presentation. I don't know quite how long it's gonna take, maybe 15, 20 minutes or? Okay. Come on up, Myrna.
Okay, I have like a 3-minute, opening statement.
Sure.
Can I sit while I do this?
You
Go-
can,
yeah,
before
go
you
right
turn,
ahead.
I would say turn around so you face the
Here.
camera probably.
Okay,
so
I'll
they're
go
recording,
here.
so,
I
yeah.
don't wanna be doing the late thing.
Oh, we got one.
Sit back here, go right ahead.
I'll sit over here because I wanna see your head reaction. It does work. Hello there.
Alright.
I don't know if anybody's familiar with the 9/11 dogs, but in all disaster or even terrorist attacks, they're the first ones there with their handlers. And their job is to sniff out humans who are breathing. And then there's a different type of dog, which is the cadaver, and that is for a dead body. So keep that in mind. So I'm gonna take about 2 minutes. Anybody want to?
No features.
Sorry, I don't do this very often. Thank you. Okay. I don't think you guys having some. Okay, here I am. This is an important spot here next to Cal.
Can't get any better than that.
Okay, all right. So you may ask why the doggy run. You kind of like questioned it. Why a doggy run? And I'm wearing everything that has to do with 9/11. Well, if what we do in our community is instruct our children and pay tribute to those killed and those who came to help and serve endlessly, we will continue to be a free nation. Remember and never forget is the goal of this memorial project. Our generation, under 20, would benefit from walking their canine and learning and paying tribute to our heroes who sacrificed themselves to help others escape. Our message to the generations is to hold on to the values that kept us free. The dogs served us selflessly at ground zero, paying tribute to canines by erecting a bronze statue that honors these heroes. This small gesture can help teach others the importance of the Canine Disaster Relief Program. We need many other people to learn and help with Canine's Disaster Relief Program. One way to honor our canine hero is a doggy run. The doggy run will bring attention to the memorial when parents and dog handlers walk their canines in our park. I honestly would like to pay tribute to these remarkable four-legged friends. Let us focus on the children, work with more schools, and educate more people. We can transfer all our knowledge and what we have learned to the next generation. I envision a tribute to the canines of 9/11, incorporating a beautiful memorial for the 1993 9/11 World Trade Center, Pentagon, American Airlines Flight 11, 175, 77, and the first responders to the terrorist attacks. It is our responsibility never to forget the sorrow of that day and the dedication, commitment, and strength of those who responded selflessly to the terrorist attacks. And my name is Murda Kashar. I'm the widow of Robert Joseph Kashar, murdered 9/11, Tower 2. He was on the 92nd floor, working. He was not a first responder. Thank you. Okay, so any questions? I would like to introduce you to Jeff Leitner, who will have the imagination to design the memorial, and his name is Jeff Leitner. He's a contractor. Can you come up and speak to the audience?
Sure.
Should I sit down again? Then you're gonna look at that. Okay. Yes?
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Well,
there's been a ton of effort put into this, as I'm sure you're aware, and I got a tribute to Meredith for her dedication and her vision to see this happen in this community. Speaking on behalf of my company, we're very excited to be a part of this. We've spent some time with her. Besides that, I mean, I know her personally, we're related through my nephew's family, and I'm very excited to be a part of this. We see some vision of what she wants to incorporate. I think having 4 different venues in one area will really be a point of destination, not only for the dogs, but for the tribute to the memorial, a sanctuary. I think we can incorporate all different types of hardscapes into the areas. We just need some type of property description or a survey and where it's gonna be located, and we're happy to get started on it.
What company are you with?
Iris Consulting.
How do you envision this being funded?
My understanding of this funding of the conceptual design and that is it would be from
How big of an area do you need?
what I've been told is there could be from 4 to 8 acres. And that would not include parking. We need adequate parking no matter where it goes.
Okay.
I know, Myrna, we talked a little bit earlier, and you said you were thinking of Anstead or Wheeler Park,
Yes,
and I said those kind of had to be off the table, because those are preserves.
Yeah.
And there are certain restrictions involved in those parks, they can't, one of them can't even get dogs, so.
right.
That probably wouldn't work. As far as an area that we have available, I can't think of any, that would be that large.
And we were talking about this at our last meeting, I thought it was just a monument
Yeah.
that was gonna be, and that's doable.
Yeah, if you were
but I
doing
don't
just
see
the
4 or 5 acres
dog
anywhere.
monument, like you had a picture here, I
The-
think, we're gonna see it.
The only area that we would maybe have available is the area, office and area that we let in farm. Which is
Yeah, next to instead.
Right. Next to the golf cart.
Yeah. But, you know, if they did something just like this, a small one, that could go on the township property right there by the township hall, where they already have the police and the fire memorial. And they could make a path and a walk path around the township hall, possibly, if you wanna go small. If you wanna go big, yeah, Samaria Road there would be the only spot. And that's still probably
That's
not,
probably talk about a dog park.
yeah, but I don't know if that's 4 acres, it might be 3.
There's a lot of acres, there's a lot of acres, still is close to 20, I think.
No,
No,
not
I
enough.
don't think so.
I don't think it would be appropriate in any of our 6 main facilities, but maybe a pocket park, I don't know. Pocket park for $1, I mean,
But
I
they're
understand, we don't-
talking like they want big space.
yeah, I don't even know what the pocket parks are, I couldn't even list you the.
We don't have
Yeah,
any.
no, I'm with
In a
you.
neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm just saying like those would be places that exist that, I mean, would be.
Murder, you said a couple of
Explorable.
times, you said a couple of times dog run. What are you envisioning? By dog run, do you mean like a dog park? By dog run, do you mean
A
like
small
a
dog.
daily, like a 5K with your dog, or what do you mean dog run?
The whole thing of the dog run is that you're not gonna get a lot of people going to Memorial to
Mhm.
sit there.
Sure.
You just not,
Correct.
you're just,
Correct.
you're agreeing with me.
Yes.
You have a dog?
Mhm. 2.
Would you take it to the dog
No.
park? No?
No, my dogs aren't friendly.
Your dog, well, okay. You're in a different situation. You have, many people will take their dogs to a dog park. And also, it's good for the dog. They learn how to socialize. The dog park will be equipped with,
So when you say dog run, you mean a dog park?
it's a dog, it will be a dog run or a dog park. It's gonna have, I brought a catalog with some, exercise equipment for dogs, not humans. And, they would, learn how to socialize,
Sure.
how to be with other dogs.
Sure.
And, it's a way how to just come to a place and off leash.
And the reason that I ask is because a dog park is something that we've discussed here for a long time.
It's been discussed.
So the community has discussed for a long time. If it were just a, hey, we're gonna have a 3-acre statue with a parking lot, that is something that is gonna be much harder to stomach than
Okay, so
finding
why,
something like this.
why was the dog, park mentioned?
So, I mean, to give some background, I think at least 8 to 10 years now it's been discussed within Bedford and getting a dog park here.
It's been in the last 2 master plans.
Main constraint on the master plans and with it is, one, the land space that we technically don't own currently with the parks, other than the farmland that's leased out. The other constraint is the park board budget itself. This is an absolutely 100% never going to happen project without a millage within the township, and the park board has never brought a millage forward to refrain from taxing citizens further. Our budget is minuscule compared to a township budget. It's made to maintain what is currently used as park facilities within Bedford. Any type of major expansion project, regeneration project, or anything of that nature will require a millage for the township.
And in fact, we've gone as far as Caroline, independently of each other, have already contacted the Toledo Metro Parks and have gotten ideas from them and cost budgets from them on when they built theirs.
So it's been an average of, a decade that you're trying to do a dog park.
Well,
And-
we've been here for 2 years, so.
Well, it's
Yeah.
prior,
Yes, correct.
And, what I'm hearing here, you need to catch up with times, because everywhere you go, in different states, that there's abundance. We do not have one. We should have one.
Our main issue for one right now has been,
And,
the
excuse
property.
me?
Our main issue for right now has been the property for it.
That's, and what, so like, I know she had brought up the pocket parks and that, or what is the acreage that would be available? I mean, do you have any?
We don't honestly have any
Don't-
acres.
you don't
We
have-
have 2 preserves that we can't develop. They're
Right,
set
right,
aside.
yeah, she told me that, yeah, we
Yes.
can't, absolutely not.
Every other park is taken.
Tapped, yeah.
There's no, without purchasing new land, which we don't have any budget for,
Okay,
we don't really have anywhere. We're actually cleaning 10 years of debris and waste out from behind this park
okay,
in an effort to develop half an acre to turn
If
into
that.
something.
okay, gotcha,
So we're scrounging for property
Understand.
anywhere that we can find it.
totally understand. So, but the pocket parks, like, she had brought up, there's one in between, the library, I think is what Paul said, right, is that right? Between
There's a
that
little
and Jackman?
pavilion.
It's the way the pavilion sits between the junior high and the
Right.
library with the
Right.
little
And I
trail.
don't, I can't visualize, is that like a
No.
half an acre?
Pocket
Maybe
parks
a
are
half acre.
typically like
A house
one lot.
in a neighborhood.
Or typically, they're not even a full lot size, or else they would have developed them into houses. So usually it's like, oh, here's too narrow for a house to put on, we'll call it a
Understand.
pocket park, then the builder gets to call it green space.
Understand.
And
And what,
then we end up getting stuck with it.
The pocket park you were talking about between the library,
Yep.
the junior high, that, we used to call it Bicentennial Park, I think, is the name
It's a
of it.
bicentennial.
And if you had a medium-sized monument, that would be a good place for it.
But not at all.
But not at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
We just wanted to do the monument, and I thought that would be great because it's near the junior high, and your whole idea was so people wouldn't forget, so somebody from the junior high can take their kids out, they can see the monument, they can talk about it in one of their classes, you know. and-
It's next to the, it's next to the
It's
school.
incorporating the
and-
school
to
as
the
well.
junior high,
A
but
lot of
the library,
students
the junior
walk
high.
that to
And
the
you have
library after
The
school.
library has 100,000
Right there.
people that go through the library on an annual basis.
I just have a question.
Yes.
There's a property that I see that's behind the Y, and it connects with, I think it's White Park, and people walk from there.
Yeah,
Indian
to
Creek
school.
Park.
That's Indian.
That's
Yeah,
owned by the
that's
school
right.
board.
That's the school's.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the school.
The school
Okay,
owns that.
right, okay, thank you.
Which you could
Yeah.
approach the schools. And
The
with
schools
this-
does have
They
Indian
have
Creek
a
Park.
lot.
They do have Indian Creek
Yeah,
Park,
they have
and
a
they
lot of
might be
them.
willing to, you know, let you have the land
That's
for
an
this
appropriate place.
there.
So we're on number 8, presentation, okay,
Right.
and I guess, like, I don't know that anybody's gonna motion for anything here, I
Not
mean,
tonight.
I like this, like, I'd motion
Discussion.
for the planting of a tree and a small memorial near the tree to honor your husband, I mean, these trees look nice from this booklet, and planting a pear tree to, you know, and then putting a placard on the pear tree, I'm sure we could find a place to plant a pear tree, this is great, but I mean, like, the dog park, it sounds like we have 2 different issues, one of which has been
Right.
brought up many, many times, and we have a survey that certainly is gonna be coming out, and I'd encourage everyone to respond to the survey with their
We are
feedback.
updating the master plan.
You know, if there's 100 respondents to the survey that all want a dog park, certainly that's something that we would look at, because that's why we're issuing the survey, but I don't know, dog park has been way off the table for quite a while every time it's come up, and I don't know, I mean, but considering your husband and 9/11 and memorials, these trees look nice, I'm sure we could find a place, I mean, I don't know what everyone, what the deal is, or what we're looking to get, what we're looking to conclude here, I mean, if we're looking to, you know, make a conclusion, I would,
Yeah.
or
How
public
big is the
commentary.
section, in White Park, the section that's wooded behind, I don't know what field that is.
It does, we don't have much far back beyond field 6 to where that little zone, it's maybe 30 yards by running to the parking lot there.
Yeah, I know the area that you're talking about.
Like, it's already passed or
Yeah,
whatever.
we kind of looked into that a little bit, but part of the problem is it's such a low-lying area that it's a swamp.
Oh, is
That
it?
if we put anything permanent back there, you're gonna get carried away by mosquitoes, because you're
I
surrounded.
mean, does it go any farther than?
No.
Path is
It's
pretty
not
much
just-
bordering all of White Park.
Does that mean, cause I was just thinking you could fence that in and make that a dog
Right,
park area.
I looked into that, yeah, and actually that was some of we kind of looked into that a little bit, and that was, it's such low-lying areas after every rain, it's a swamp, and then being on woods 3 sides, it'd be.
Okay.
So what I wanted to do was turn diamonds 1 and 2 at Indian Creek into a dog park, because you have a soccer field on one side, you have a parking lot on another side, you have woods on the third side, and it's already fenced in on 3 sides.
Right.
And it's a big giant space, so
But
divide
that's the
that
school.
into 3.
That's on my school.
That's
And we proposed that to the schools, and the schools didn't want to allow us to develop it that way, so.
So from research on what we've looked into since we've been aboard and kind of going through what Toledo did with those 3 main zones, large dog, small dog, and then a neutral mid-zone, because you have to have like a double gate so dogs can't escape and so forth. General cost for that, you're required about 3 acres, and your cost is looking at the basics of it, about $400,000. Our yearly annual budget for park board has been consistently right at about the $200,000 mark. And that's for all of our operating costs for all of the parks that we control within the township for the year. So that's where that budget,
So my
it's either
suggestion-
years of not spending anything and saving, or
If I may just put an input here. I understand everything about the dog park, and I would love to see the dog park incorporated, if that's not gonna be available at this time. If we're going to do a memorial, I would like the memorial to incorporate everything that happened during 9/11 and the 1993 bombing of the world, including the Pentagon and the airlines. If you go around and look at all the other monuments that have been erected since 9/11, they're only, focused on one thing. If it's a fireman, fireman, if it's police, it's police. We need to include everybody, because when it happened, it was all of us.
So Mert, I have a question for you on that, because what we were sent as a board before this presentation earlier, there was some background on that, how you want each piece incorporated and everything. And it said in there something, are you connected with the memorial in New York, or how, I guess,
I am, I'm a
Okay.
9/11 family member.
okay, cause I
And
know.
I am one or the second person, not 100% sure, I think I'm in the first, one of the first ones. And this flies, it really is. And, I was one of the first that, contributed to the Memorial Museum when it was just a tiny, yeah.
And I asked that because I know from my background out at the 188th Fighter Wing, we have a memorial out there. And it's a
You do.
public memorial, and we have all 3 sites incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
New York, Towers, the Pentagon, and Flight 93 in Pennsylvania. The amount of hurdles and
Since then, we put in the
levels to go to
1993.
get pieces to that memorial, or to get it for them to then build the memorial,
Yes.
was an epic undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
One that I know
Well,
that we're looking at again with us as a
that
park board, and that's where I was curious what connection you had to do it, because
Yeah.
I don't think
you-
any of us would really know where to begin with that.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Right.
You don't have the 1993 bombing, that
We
is
don't.
the first, so you
Right.
don't.
Ours was strictly to the memorial,
Right.
there's to 9/11 and something.
Right, so we do want to include that. Also, just throwing this out here, downtown Toledo is always talking about revising, doing this, getting more people down there, doing apartments, restaurants. Do a big memorial. Huge, look at a lot of people.
In downtown Toledo?
No, no, she's saying if you did it here, that they would, is what she's saying.
But you also have areas by the docks in the Toledo area downtown.
Yep.
That can be open for that, and that's beautifying and giving respect. And as far as as you suggested, Carol, the township, it's all concrete, and this fly, I did not invite this fly.
Oh, they're every meeting.
So whoever did
The
it,
party crasher.
you know, thank you.
If you had a design, like if we had a design or a place, you know, that we could go off of,
Yeah, I think that would.
I don't know, I mean, like,
That's
I don't even know if, like, you know, well, just, I mean, if like something we could look at and we could, you know,
Well,
propose
Jenna's gonna
and say
put
yes or
together.
no, I
She
mean,
got some stuff.
well, I mean, but it's clearly not
Well, we're not
sized
gonna
to-
copy, we're not copycatters, we're gonna do our own.
I would
Jeff
say-
is here, he has a great imagination, he can do it.
Absolutely, we just need the
Capable.
property to know
Okay, I
where
would,
we're locating.
I would suggest, yes, that we can probably help with some of that, but I think you need to take this to the school board, get them on
It's the
board.
most property.
I think you need to take it to the township board. I don't know if you can get her on the agenda for next meeting, possibly.
There, and speaking of school,
How big of a, if you're talking just a memorial, how big are you talking?
that would be he's the designer,
I
he
get
knows
that, how big are you
dimensions.
talking as your designer?
Minimum of an acre.
Okay.
I mean, what about like, here's a stone thing, like, a stone thing that she can, like, her husband's name could be the first name, and then as the years go on, if other citizens of Bedford want their family members to be added for something consistent with some, you know, one who's died, you know, something like that, like, can we just put something like this somewhere, and that, you know, fallen citizens, fallen family members, something that all the citizens of Bedford can, you know, be like, right now, I think all that we have to go off would be like some park benches, like some benches that say dedicated to, so maybe an expansion of that type of idea, where it's like, okay, you don't want a bench with a placard on it, maybe, you know, there's a monument here, and you can, you know, for a nominal fee or no fee, just for, you know, come to the meeting and say, hey, I'd like my family member's name etched here, and we can add people. I mean, these are all things that I think would be lovely to add to the park, but 1 acre, you know, purpose-oriented,
Okay,
I
Erin,
don't know,
you-
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Thanks, thank you. So, I don't know how this park thing works, okay? And I don't think that the family goal is to have Robert Joseph Bishar mentioned anywhere. You know, that is not our goal. It's, I mean,
Education.
it's for the whole thing, not for Robert Joseph Bishar. So that's the one thing. Sorry. How does this whole park thing go? If you had, private property, and we say, here's private property, we wanna put a park on that,
You can donate it to the parks board.
you can,
If you have private property that you're
It
done
would
with.
have to still be accepted by the park board, and I believe the main township board would have to accept it.
They would have
They would have to accept responsibility of maintenance and things of that.
so all we have to do is donate it.
It would then be rezoned by the township into park green space and maintenance of it and so forth, because the whole tax part of it involved, all of those pieces, but that would be your first step, is private land would need to be donated to, or the park board would have to purchase it, which we're not in the budget of currently purchasing
And
land.
if you were going to go about something along that lines, then you would wanna make sure that in the purchasing or donation agreement, that it's written in there that it's set
It's
aside
used
for
as.
this specific purpose.
Yeah.
Just as the Anstead and Wheeler donations, they were set aside specifically, we can't have dogs, we can't develop it, we can't, they gave us a list of rules of, hey, we're gonna give you this land, here's what you can and cannot do with it.
Gotcha.
And that's why we're very specific with what we propose.
And then, so my other question is, how long is that process? I mean, I know this is just kind of general, but how long does that process take if someone says, we want to donate land and we want to put it towards a
What
plan?
do you-
Carol's the only one who's been through that.
Nothing ever happens fast, ever.
No,
anywhere.
that would be a better question at the
We
township.
No
understand.
process that I've ever been involved with has been fast.
Carol, how long did it take for
So-
Wheeler and Anstead?
For Anstead, gosh, I wasn't on board when
Oh, when it
Anstead
first
happened,
began.
and Wheeler was already decided before I was on the board, so, yeah, I don't know, I would say years.
It's years,
Yeah.
Well, it
At
doesn't
least
have to
two.
be that long.
right.
If you got a property,
Really
I mean, if somebody's got a property, I'm sure we could,
Yeah.
you know, you give it to the township, then the township would be like, hey, we think the park board's the best place for this property to be managed. They'd come to us, we'd
And,
agree or disagree, and then that'd be the
and to
deal.
be honest with you, if you want it to move even quicker, don't keep the township involved in it. You have the property, you have the
It's
financing,
memorial, yeah.
build a memorial, and then during the build and the process and everything, then donate it to the township.
Okay.
It'll move much faster without government being
Question,
involved.
Miranda, have you, I know, I think I understand that you envisioned the whole thing as one area.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that may be a huge hurdle
Yeah.
and maybe an impossibility, but I'm wondering, what if there was the memorial area, whether it be near the junior high, which would be awesome. I mean, we've talked about going to schools and making sure, these kids, weren't alive during 9/11, so to enlighten them, and then to keep moving forward it sounds like a dog park is wanted and needed up in this area, maybe it would have to be a
I think
separate
we
thing?
need, like, we're at 9 comments from the public, which I guess we're in, but like, instead of a brainstorming session, I think if there's any members of the public, like, 2 minutes, make your comments, rather than all of us brainstorming ideas of the different places in town. Because-
I do
Yeah, I mean, like, if anybody, I don't know, our secretary's gonna have a lot of back work to do maybe, but like,
You wanted to do something
you know,
quickly?
we're in number 9 now, comments from the public.
Yeah.
She's wrapped up her presentation.
Yeah, I think,
And
like,
then we would be able
but
to,
I mean,
what if we ever got to?
Well, I just wanna remind everybody over here, and it's just like, Mrs. Leitner was saying, we're not looking for an individual to be tribute to the, not at
Sure,
all.
sure.
This is our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. We have 3 generations that already are here and do not know that the United States of America has been attacked. In the financial district in New York City, they came to gutter us. That's what they came here for. They have to grow up knowing that this is theirs and they need to protect it. And it's not all about candy and playing games or anything like that. They have to be brought up in a world that they must protect the freedom of the United States of America. And by doing that, we need teachers, and we need our public library, and we need teachers that will take their children to field trips. There is nowhere that a teacher can bring 30 kids on a field trip to pay tribute to these people who gave their
There is.
life to these heroes. That is what we're supposed to be thinking of. Not how we're gonna fund it. We don't have a large enough space. And also, I was told that there is funding to have this put in.
You're gonna wanna go to an ARPA committee meeting for that.
Who committee?
ARPA.
So,
ARPA.
COVID money.
both.
which is ran through the ARPA
No,
committee.
I want
and
you
township.
guys to help because you're involved.
So,
Are you Americans?
We can help.
Myrna,
Yes, that's what I want.
to keep our meeting moving forward, and I understand, I don't disagree with you whatsoever in any way.
Okay,
Strictly as a park board, and with the land we have available, the funds we have available, and the opportunity,
Mhm.
we're not the board you should be presenting to,
Well,
unfortunately.
I was told that you do have the funds. The funds are there, they're
I
ready.
don't know who told you
They're
that.
sitting
I'm
there.
not sure where you heard that information.
Nope, we don't have.
And to side note on that, there is a place teachers can take on field trips, it's the 180th
Well,
Park.
then there's a difference in the park board.
There's a,
Yeah, I'm not saying the park board.
Right.
I think a couple of these trees, you know, if in a future meeting.
Aaron,
Yeah, stop.
I need that back, but.
Okay, I would say, take this to the school board, take this to the township board, and, you know, take it further, present it to both of them.
We need to go to.
We're on board, if we can help, we will, but, you know,
Okay,
with our
so
funding,
well,
we're
you're
gonna,
in agreement.
The school
Oh,
board has
100%.
property at Indian Creek Park,
yes.
that's what we're
That's the
looking
largest
at.
open land
Yes.
park.
So we
In
can go
township.
there, we can,
Yeah.
who do we contact, who is the best person?
I would start with the superintendent,
Carl Schultz,
Carl Schultz.
Paula?
he's at the administration buildings at Smith Road, Smith Road
Yeah, Smith
Elementary.
And then I would present it to the township board, tell them you already talked to the, you know, the park board, and what can they do for us?
And while we do manage our budget, our money, the majority of it comes from the main township.
Township.
The main
And is
township.
approved by them.
And,
Yes.
and what we mean by the ARPA money is that the township of Bedford was given $3 million in COVID relief money. They currently have that money and don't know what to do with it. So they need suggestions for
my
it.
source is
We've
correct.
asked for them for, we've asked them for.
We asked for a dog park.
Well, my source
And
is
that's what
correct,
that
and my
is.
source asked me to come here and present it to you, so maybe some of that money can be used. I was also thinking it could be, for-profit and non-profit, we could split it right in half.
Okay, anything else from the
All
public?
Does
Thank you.
anybody else wanna comment? Al, did you wanna say anything? Township wise or anything? No?
No, it's just that when Murda came to us, we thought it's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I guess a little research, maybe I'm not fully aware. Did the township not purchase Anstead Park? I don't think that was donated, was it?
It was donated, my understanding, it was donated to the park, and then they gave up part of it for the cemetery. The park board gave it to the township to be used as a cemetery.
Okay, because it was my understanding, we bought that property through money that we had left over from the sewer bond issue, or whatever. So I guess I would just,
That's not the story I heard.
yeah, because there was money that they took from one fund to do a cemetery, because I believe Bob Schockman was involved
If
in
that
that.
were the case, I would think that then the lease money would go back to the township instead of the parks board.
Well,
For the
if you-
farmer lease. And that's the only thing I
Yeah.
have to go off of.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
I-
the contract.
Because I remember when that was kind of going on, so I don't know if they changed anything, or who does it, it might be just something to look into to say, hey, where, because I don't think it was all donated in terms of the money.
But the portion, there is a portion available if they wanted to do a memorial in the cemetery.
Right,
Like they have in
there's
Sylvania,
land
there's
there.
an area you could,
The only other option to take a look at is that the horse farm backs up to Anstead, and it's to see if the horse farm might want to give up a little property towards that back and possibly put it there. I don't know if they would want to do that. I mean, the horses just graze back there, but that might be a possibility to extend. I don't know. That would be maybe a possible idea. I don't know. So, yep.
all right.
So
Well, thank
maybe
you
it's
for
a memorial, it's for the fire department.
If you wanted to come up with designs of a small memorial, we have spaces
That
at
we
White
have,
Park.
yeah.
Not
That's
an
that
acre,
memorial.
but we have spaces at White Park for a 10 by 10, the size of this green square or something.
We have a
We could fit
memorial
there.
for Township Hall.
And then if we ever got the dog park made, we could move it to the dog park, pick it up, put it on a trailer, even if it's cranes involved, and move it to the new dog park. That would get you something quicker and something permanent and somewhere that people could go to, like you said, remember. So,
Does anyone know why the dog park was shut down when it was brought before the?
No money, no land.
No money, but the money, the COVID money Did I hear?
That's not
We don't control it.
We don't
Yeah.
control it.
I know, but
Unfortunately,
You'd have to
we
ask
don't
the
know.
ARPA
We'd have to
committee
ask the-
when they have their.
I just wondered
meetings.
if there was any knowledge, if anyone had any information on that.
Right now, we don't have any land for a dog, to go to a dog park anywhere. I mean, it's been talked about.
And we, almost every meeting it comes up as to future plans of, and we have a survey coming out soon.
Harley, Samaria, White Rock. They talk
Master
about
plan
the
update.
back corner floods, I mean, there's just, it's been talked about numerous
It
times.
was talked about in Unstead, and then there was public reach out about not wanting a dog park at the nature park.
Mhm.
All right, well, thank you all for coming. If you wanna stay, you're welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting. If you'd like to leave now, you
We can
can
take a
leave
pause
now.
for anybody who wants to.
I'd just like to summarize, just for Myrna, you know, it sounds like you approach the school board to talk about the land by Indian Park, and also to come up with a design for your memorial, and you can present that, where it's a good idea to, it can be put somewhere. But, and in the meantime, you can approach the school about that property, and I heard somebody mention some donating some property, so there's some, 3 different considerations that we can do moving forward.
What about stations that, like, I mean, like at White Park, you said, like, stations at different places?
Yeah, smaller items, like, absolutely, sure.
Be happy to
We
do
need that
that
type of
and
plan
set
to
it a quarter mile apart, so
Yeah.
that you could also use it dual purpose, so
Yeah,
when
and
kids are running, that's okay.
You
Quarter
can
mile,
also
quarter
see
mile,
this at this
quarter mile.
park, you know, available at this park, you know, so that, cause there's people that walk at different parks at different times.
That's a good idea. That's an idea.
Well, thank you.
All right,
Thank
well,
you,
thank
guys.
you very
Thank you so
much.
much.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, no problem. The
All right,
monument's
let's take
definitely.
a 5-minute break here.
I think the monument's definitely. That's easy.
Mr. Pryor.
How's it going, sir?
Here, just sign the back.
See you on Grand Golf.
See you, big guy.
How's Wendy doing?
It's gonna be here.
We can do a monument.
Yeah.
And very helpful. But anyway, yeah, she's got some.
We have three programs available to teachers, please.
What's that outside?
She gives us the truth of who was behind 9/11,
The
who
assistant.
really did it, what happened to Building 7.
The assistant superintendent.
I mean,
Mark French, the assistant superintendent, he's the one who handles the report. Mark French, he's the assistant superintendent, he is the one that approves all curriculum. Mark French,
Mark French,
he's the assistant superintendent.
Dov Zakheim was in charge of the National Transportation Security Board, and he worked on a project on how to remote control airplanes. Saudi's my tush.
okay.
What happened to Building 7? There wasn't no that wasn't a wastebasket fire in Building 7.
Okay.
You guys have a good night, that's the
Yes,
most
thank
people
you.
we've ever had in a meeting.
Okay.
That was good.
Did we count? How many do we have? We should put that down.
I don't know what the public commentary notes should say. other than
I don't have
Open
anything.
discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
open
Open
discussion.
discussion.
I was leaving it under
Because
number
what you guys
8.
were supposed to do is for public comment, you had to have them say.
I didn't know there was any of that.
That's why I left that under presentation.
Yeah.
Public
Okay.
comment, we asked a number.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
CHAAR@sbcglobal.net. Can you spell my last name right? GSCHAAR?
It's on the agenda.
Yep.
GSCHAAR.
People want to drop the game, the vowels. So, anyway, wish me luck. So you're
Thank you.
standing behind me, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yay.
Monument is doable.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Monument is
much.
doable, dog park, you know.
I mean, potentially doable in the future if we ever.
Yeah, in the
come
future,
up
So
with
maybe
it.
use Chaz, because we're still in meeting.
That's the
You
thing.
might be able to push Mary Onstead a little more for something like that. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
fits in with the cemetery.
It's
Jazz.
doable.
We're still waiting on Chaz, so I guess we're still at intermission, still
Yeah,
break time.
it's okay. He's
Yeah,
got a
like
No
alcohol
worries.
problem.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. At our last meeting, I thought you wanted just a little monument. I guess, yeah,
That's what I thought was being
okay,
presented.
no problem. Little monument right there, Township Hall. Then
Well, I
she
knew
started talking
she
dog
wanted more
park,
than
and
that.
I'm
She
like, I
wanted
already
to
know that's not
incorporate
happening.
the dogs and the monument. And
Yeah, I'm like, there's
I
no
don't
way.
know.
That's been talked about numerous times. I'm like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I've been to the Flight 93 place a couple times there in the middle of Pennsylvania.
I've been to New York's, I've been to Flight 93s, I've been to DC.
Flight 93, nobody's ever there. it's like, no, I mean, it's so weird. It's actually eerie, that thing for the monument at the front, which isn't at the back where the plane hit. There's that
yeah.
Tower of Voices, which is like, what?
I've seen odd pictures.
It's so weird, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think our parks our little parks are not
Our
necessarily.
monument at the 180th alone was like a 6-year endeavor of getting pieces of the tower, getting pieces of the Pentagon, and getting dirt from the field
Yeah.
to be cleared and brought in. And they built basically a sundial. I mean, it takes up the size of a volleyball court.
Fascinating. Well, and they got pieces of all the buildings.
Oh, they didn't even clean their chairs up.
And then
Alright, so
let's
let's,
Okay,
bring
moving
in
on.
a bunch of
Volunteer
tourists.
Day,
No way.
October 15th.
I'll reiterate it again, 10 a.m. at Parmalee. Bridgepoint, the main,
15.
guys, Matt, they have major scheduling conflicts with sports and another event going on that they are encouraging anybody who can show up to show up, but they're, as a group, they will not be there.
Oh, well
Oh,
then,
great.
why don't we reschedule?
Well, we're doing a fall and a spring
Yeah.
volunteer day each year.
Fair enough.
So Bridgepoint's not.
Bridgepoint has scheduling conflicts to where they're as a Bridgepoint group doing it, we'll do the next spring then. But they're encouraging, he's still encouraging anybody not with all these scheduling, they're going to come volunteer to Parmalee at 10 a.m.
And since we put in the newsletter,
It's
Let's
going.
go.
well, I was gonna see all the disc golf guys at Leagues at Thursday at 5 o'clock if I'm in
Tell
town.
them, 10
So
a.m.
I should
at
still
Parmalee.
tell them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So whatever bodies we get, we'll clean up Parmalee and do a walkthrough. If we have enough, we'll go to Wheeler and,
I'm gonna
I'll
stop
try.
at Wheeler at 10. I won't go to
Yep.
Parmalee. I'll just go to Wheeler because I've got like 3 guys from the Nature Conservancy coming, so.
Perfect.
That's 3 guys and me, they can.
I'll try to meet you.
Maybe not me with my back, but they'll be able to do it. Move stuff.
I'm a little scared I might get stuck at work Friday night, but I think I'll get out of there. But, do we have any pylons that anybody knows of maybe in that garage in the back? Possibly?
Yeah.
You want, you just want cones?
Yeah, like just some.
Park Sport's got, or not the Park Sport, maintenance has got a bunch of them.
They have cones.
Yeah, they put them around, when we built the basketball courts.
Cause I was thinking I might actually have helpers just position cones with me and.
start getting an idea of
Just to see
layout.
how
And
it's-
you just leave the cones up all winter. I mean,
Oh,
with
they'll
this-
be gone.
They're gonna get stolen.
Yeah, they'll get stolen.
Yeah.
We already paid for the
I
box,
know, I
didn't we?
mean, and I've coordinated and everybody, I mean, but none of them have moved yet. Talked to Al, I've talked to Stevenson.
Yeah, why did I leave?
I don't know.
Why did
But he was just here
The
for
cameras
that.
are still on, why is it not here?
Yeah,
Either way, I mean, it's all good. He texted me and it sounds like he's got maintenance, lined up to get over there and pick them up, but I mean, I've been cruising through and have not seen any of them yet, so that's gonna be an all winter process
I was
is
told
my
they're not
guess.
gonna do them without a plan.
I brought it up at the last township meeting, Chris and Carol were there when it got to board comment time. I told him, I said, the biggest problem, Paul, is the work order's not getting done. I said, yeah, we have one, it's 4 months, I said, nothing is getting done, and then he went bonkers, I was just trying to bring it up so he knew, cause he could put a foot up their ass or something. But no, and then he thought it was a personal attack against him, and I said, whatever. I said,
Well,
whatever,
that's
Paul.
what I raised in there last week, getting the stuff together, and that's what I was told, is that maintenance is not going to move them twice. They want to move them and set them right into position.
Okay, then I can set up a bunch of cones and then we leave the cones up and say, put them where the cones are.
Spray
And if
paint,
people steal the
marker paint might
cones.
work better.
Yeah, get marker paint.
Sure, I mean, but like cone,
To test, if you want.
like set the cones up, move the cones around, spray paint something and tell them to put the stuff there then, I guess.
You get the marker
That
paint.
works.
But like,
Yes, we've got an account there.
The problem is, it's gonna, there's just gonna be random jersey barriers in the middle of the parking lot until it becomes a thing. And then, I
This is your baby.
At least
I mean,
Do
it's,
it up.
I'm okay with that, other than, I mean, that's why I was thinking the temporary ones, you know, and I was like, I saw those temporary ones you can fill with water and stuff.
But those look good still.
Yeah, those are so expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
They're more
just a
expensive,
bad
they're more
area.
expensive and
Way more expensive.
Who's going to
So-
help in the skate park?
we're just gonna, I'll mark it and see how well they place them there, I mean, I guess this is why you gotta make projects expensive.
Right.
So the line and put X's on the side you want it on.
Yeah, I mean, there's XXXX, place them on top of the X, I mean, maybe if I get over there and hip check them into place after,
You're not gonna hit check.
I know.
You're not gonna hit.
I know, it's just like,
I moved 6 of them around in my shop today, and it's, even my big backhoe struggled,
yeah.
so.
Alright, let's keep this
Alright,
rolling.
the Parks and Rec survey update, did you all get a chance to look at the new survey?
I did.
I have not had a chance to look at it.
It's
I did.
down, it's
I'm
down
done.
from 10, 12 pages
It's
to
better.
10 pages.
It's better.
Yeah.
There's best.
Yeah. We can see, I mean, is there any other suggestions you have?
Yeah, that whole page,
Okay, I
all
will
red.
send that, I will send that to her. See what you think.
If you don't mind passing that back to me when you're done with it.
Yep, I'm just breezing through.
Yeah, you guys look at it.
Yep.
And while you're looking at that, let's talk about the water leaks and the sprinkler blowout update at all the parks. My understanding is that everything's been done at all the parks.
Yeah,
Except
and
there was a question about this leak outside here.
I checked with South County Water and I checked the meter and their last meter reading to the day I checked it, we had used 19 gallons over 3 weeks or something.
Which was
Yeah.
totally flushing this with it.
Yeah.
So, and I talked to Al, the leak was fixed here. That's what we just approved in the treasurer's report, the $65
Yeah.
charge.
Yeah.
Also for the blowout update, Al does have us scheduled on the hall and the library and all that for when they
Okay.
come through and do it. Here, White Park and Samaritan are all on the same schedule
Okay.
to get the lines blown out. So
Alright,
that's
we
all.
don't have to-
Along that same vein,
Yeah.
did we ever come up with anything for the drinking fountains? Can we do something, if we're getting it all blown out, can we do something with that, like get those pulled out and capped or replaced?
They get capped for the winter.
I understand,
And
we're
shut
talking
off.
about like,
Yeah.
and cap,
We're talking about removing them,
and
putting
right.
new,
Oh.
either capping them off
You
permanently
mean-
or putting new.
I thought you
ones.
meant they put the little caps
Right,
over it.
no, I wanna come up with a plan, and maybe you guys did this at the last meeting. Come up with a plan, if we're going to replace them, then we should start looking at that, because nothing moves quickly. Or if we're going to remove them,
Yeah, remove, not
then
replace.
why don't we have them, when they blow it out, why don't we have them
Put
capped
that on
down?
the next agenda.
Rather than put them out there and rust all winter, so we can look at them. I'll take them out,
No, son, get them replaced with ARPA money.
9 minutes with a torch.
Yeah,
We can,
I would say that's something
We can
that
try.
was like recommended,
because
so
it's
let's
like from
present
$3,000
that
to
to
$6,000,
replacement.
depending upon how you
Which
wanna
one you
replace
get?
them.
The ones
piece.
just like this, they were about
Piece?
they were about
A piece.
$4,800 like this.
Yep.
The five,
Yep.
like 5,500 was with a water bottle filler thing on them.
Which a lot of
But with a
people do
dog
now,
bowl,
Mhm.
with
You
a
could-
dog bowl
you could
and like
fill
a
it with
normal
the
fountain
other
like
too.
this, it was 4,800 from the park website.
I've never really seen a dog in a car. I haven't seen any dogs.
Every once in a while.
I see them at
There's
White
there's
Park.
one gentleman,
White
there's
Park.
one gentleman that walks this park probably twice a day with his dogs.
Mm-hmm.
He came,
Yeah,
well, he came.
we'll
over
put it
for
on the
meetings
next
last
agenda, so we
Yeah.
can discuss this and go, it's not on the agenda for today, so. Moving on, parking lot seal coating, seal coating and striping was completed here in Samaria, all done. I asked him to get me the invoice and W-9 and everything for tonight so we could approve it and speed the payment up for him.
And
He
you-
didn't provide me anything, so put it on the next agenda.
Okay,
Samaritan seal coating was good, I stopped there the day they did it, looked it over, called Jamie, right?
Yep.
Jamie seal coating was some concerns I had, went back there today, my concerns were all fixed. So everything was good over there, it's all striped, it's done.
Did the,
So I honestly,
did the-
I think we should start looking into possibly getting the parking lots recapped. Cause it's a slow process to get things done here.
check if you
Start
drive by
trying to find
yours,
somebody that can do it.
check if you drive by yours that they, maintenance pulled the blockers,
They did not.
pull them. Cause they weren't pulled here either and I showed up early.
Well, I was curious, cause they weren't striped yesterday.
They were striped today.
Yeah.
It's drying.
It's
good.
drying good, okay. Well, some of my ceiling is, were you touched up at mine?
It's good now. It's about 8
It
hours.
wasn't earlier, but I'll check it, yeah, it's cold
So
out.
just, if you go by there, pull the blockers so people can park there again.
Okay. White Park basketball court drainage update, bleachers and fencing. Who wants to jump down that? My,
Go ahead, Chris.
I've said my piece every week and
Go ahead. Yep. I hear you're into it, so go ahead.
Into it.
Yeah.
Well, from what I know, maintenance isn't gonna touch it,
Paul said at the last board meeting, maintenance wasn't gonna touch it.
yep,
Good, they're the ones that screwed it
They're
up.
the
Why would we
ones-
give them another opportunity?
Yeah, they're the ones who piled the dirt up above it, which is why all the water drains onto the court now. Paul said, they're not, maintenance is done with it, they're not gonna touch it.
and he thinks it should
so they
be
sabotaged
torn
it and
out.
now they're not gonna.
correct.
He thinks they should be torn out, and so he says maintenance will not touch
Yeah.
anything there, no fencing, no nothing, because he thinks they're gonna have to tear them all
He
out.
thinks it's the
He
contractor's
suggests
fault.
we take the contractor to Goldsmith and let Goldsmith take it from there. I don't know. I don't know what was in the bid, if the fencing was in it, that they were supposed to put the fencing back and all that sort of thing in the bid. This is what Paul's saying, he says he's got a copy and that's what it says. They didn't do it, he thinks we should take them to court till they do it.
They didn't do it because Pat agreed that he would do it when they were done. Because Pat
But in
agreed that
his mind, we
he-
shouldn't have asked Pat.
Because, well, this was before Al got involved with things. Because Pat said, well, I'm going to be driving trucks and tractors in here anyway, so why don't you just
Too
leave the
bad.
fence down so I can use it?
Correct.
And that's what he told the contractor, so I'm out of it. I am getting a price from a landscaping company to level it out and put some drainage,
Okay.
some stone around there. Maintenance said that they're not in a rush to build the bleachers,
Nope, we've had them since July.
Yeah.
so.
Well, and the whole reason was in Paul's mind anyways, because he thinks it needs to be
So
torn out.
Paul's holding maintenance hostage
If they
to
get,
building the
if
bleachers.
you do the grading, like you said, get somebody to do the grading, we'll see if it floods again, and if it
There's-
doesn't, then there's
It
no reason
hasn't
they can't put
flooded
the
since-
bleachers up.
It hasn't flooded since the monsoon that we got.
I know, well, this weekend, we're supposed to get some rain, what, Wednesday, Thursday?
Wednesday.
We'll see.
Check it.
We'll see.
We haven't really had rain since then. Well, we have ones.
We've
yeah.
had rain.
We've had about 3 times,
We've
and I've
driven
gone by
by-
every
we've
time,
driven
and it
past
does
it.
not leak,
Okay.
or it does not
Alright.
flood.
No, it's not good because they mounted it up. They funneled it to it.
So we don't wanna do a motion for anything on this then, at this point, I mean, you're.
No,
Motion to have
unfortunately-
maintenance build bleachers as they said they would, and that's why we had them delivered to the maintenance barn.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I'm still waiting on my price. The guy was out of town last week, so I will double check with him right now.
Well, you'll probably have to get what, three estimates?
It shouldn't be
I-
that.
No, okay,
It
well,
could
you
be, I
got
mean,
it.
I mean, but
If it's over 1,500,
it
Yes.
shouldn't be though, I mean, that's.
And what it was explained to us at the last meeting was we need to get the 3 estimates, but, you know, we can go ahead, get the 3 estimates, choose the one we want, then send it over to the township so they can look at it.
Before we can
Basically,
do the
before
work.
before we do the work, yeah. It has to be approved
So
before.
I hope they improve the seal coating, cause it's already done.
but Chris brought that up. They
Well, and
already-
then you,
yeah,
yeah, you
Phil,
brought that up.
Phil
You
even said, he
it's
goes,
already
you followed the process, you got 3 bids, so you're fine, go ahead and go with it. So Chris had brought that up at the meeting.
Good.
done. Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
yes, that's done, yeah. And pretty much anything that, in my mind, this whole new thing with going to the township shouldn't happen until the end of this fiscal year. We shouldn't stop in the middle and do things different.
Well, especially since they've been doing it wrong forever.
Right,
Now all of a sudden,
What's
now
the
all of a
difference?
sudden they wanna change it, cause they asked, it was even brought up, well, why else, if you've been doing it this wrong the whole entire time, why all of a sudden now does it change? Cause all the towns beforehand they just rolled it, they're like, alright, well, this is the process that we already know, this is the money, so the other towns just rolled it, now they're saying, oh, no, this is illegal, you can't do it this way, and now we have to start doing it
that's why
right.
they're changing it right in the middle,
Yeah.
instead of waiting till the next.
We've been doing it
fiscal year.
illegal the whole entire time, now all of a sudden, we gotta do it right.
Well, while we're talking about White Park, this is another thing that Paul brought up. He thinks that we can get money, ARPA funds, for a new skate park if we put it at White Park. Where the corner at one, which means you'd lose a ball field.
Are we sure he doesn't want it at Centennial?
I'm sure.
Let's turn
So
Centennial
can
into a
we-
dog
So
park.
I called, just for the heck of it, I called this guy who had talked to us before, and for a 10,000 square foot pump track and skate park combination, it's gonna be anywhere from 280,000 to 700,000.
Yeah.
I was gonna say about the 500,000.
But I wanted to be
Oh,
able
but-
to ask, I wanted to be able to go to them and say, this is how much it's gonna cost, you know, somewhere between here. I mean, we have to come up with a plan of what we like, and then they'll give us another idea.
And what corner do they wanna put it
Whatever. Well, that was my idea, I just put it in a white park
I
where you
would
can
not-
see.
I would
where
not vote to put it.
People going by, you
No.
gotta have it somewhere where it's gonna be seen, or it's gonna be destroyed, just like the other one. And I think we should go with concrete.
Oh, 100%.
If you were gonna
Yeah.
You know,
boards.
yeah, no
Yeah, I
more
mean,
boards, if
well,
we're gonna do it,
ramps
do
cast.
it upright,
The
do
one
it
that's there is
concrete.
there, it's, you know. So, sounds like with the dirt though, are we back to the dirt, still trying to figure that out?
No.
We're up to it.
No, but like we didn't figure that out, and that's
No,
the
we-
number that we're on.
He's working on it,
I'm going to get a
We're still on
price
E though, right?
yes,
I'm gonna get
we're
a
still
price
on
We're
it.
still on E,
from a contractor to.
or the volunteers. Couple
Well, if we got
volunteers.
enough volunteers.
No, at this point.
No,
you're-
for volunteers, don't.
There's root systems growing in now.
At this, yeah, you better,
Okay.
Yeah, it's
if
heavy
Paul is
equipment
saying he
type
wants to
work.
get Phil involved, you better do a contractor. Obviously, you better not have volunteers even touch that thing.
Fair enough, okay. See what I see.
All right, anything else on White Park? Anybody else wanna say anything? Do we don't wanna get the fencing done yet until the contractor's probably done there, huh?
No, Matt wanted it done to be able to take the bleachers in with the truck.
Okay,
He
well then, yeah,
installed
we'll
both
wait.
bleachers.
Okay.
You guys will probably have a better chance just building the bleachers yourself.
Yeah.
Get them done over the weekend.
I'm honestly probably gonna fix the fence myself, I'm tired of hearing about it. Maintenance doesn't wanna do it, I'm not going back on the contractor because maintenance now changed their mind and doesn't wanna do it, so
Yeah.
I'll just do it my damn self.
That's how things
Get
get
it done
done.
faster
Alright.
and better anyway.
Let's go to F, Park Commission direction and compensation.
Yeah, I asked to put that one on there, can anybody tell me what we're doing here? We can't
The whole
spend,
thing's crazy. but
we can't
here.
spend $1,500. We can't write our own statements in the newsletter without it getting edited at the township hall. We're not in charge of maintenance, so we obviously don't decide what gets fixed when. So what is the point of the park board?
I look at us
Approving
as,
openings.
as a stopgap to what the township can and can't do, because we're in charge of the parks. So, but yeah, obviously we get our money from the township, so they're controlling us to a certain extent, but, you know, I think the whole reason they made a park commission was that so you would oversee what the township does with the parks.
But in
Flip it around, instead of them overseeing what we do, we are overseeing what they get done with the parks.
But the problem with that is that we don't have any control over it. We say, hey, put this fence back up, and they say, no, we don't. Or we say, hey, can you put sod around this basketball court, or put dirt around the basketball court, and then we should do that. Or we say, hey, can we get some asphalt disposed of, and they say, oh, you spent too much money. So, I just don't understand the direction of what we're supposed to be doing here. So can we request from do we wanna request from the township board a direction, what they want us to do? $1,500, I can't get a contractor to pick up a phone for $1,500, that's ridiculous.
Agreed.
And they say, oh, well, that's the state law, I requested the gentleman who told us that's the state law contact information, cause I'm gonna call him, because just for fun, I called 8 other townships in Michigan with similar population size to ours, and it was 10,000 minimum, 5,000 minimum, 5,000 minimum, $7,500 minimum, and then there was one township that was $1,000 minimum, $1,500 minimum with a supervisor authorization, $3,500 with a supervisor and an assistant's authorization. So, hey,
Well,
if
then,
we're getting in trouble because we're not following the rules, we are the only township out of the 8 that I contacted that has thresholds set that small.
well, then why don't we talk to the township about upping their thresholds?
Because Trudy has no interest in upping the threshold. I've had that conversation with her, that's why Bob is going down and working so hard to make sure that we don't change our thresholds, is because they have no interest in increasing the thresholds. So I've had that conversation with them, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere. We can
Right
try
now-
again,
Now
if,
that you've got the information
Todd
from
thinks
other
there's something
townships.
Well,
but that's why I wanna contact the guy that Bob talked to.
this is
Just
what
say,
the
look,
problem is, so like whatever the threshold is, $1,500, well, that's.
our threshold is $1,500.
Well, that's, will be the threshold for us also, it'll be across the board, that's how
Right.
much you can spend.
Right.
Well, the problem is, people hooking up their buddies with, oh, you know what, if we keep it at $1,500, well, now Paul actually has to come to before he starts going crazy, cause, I mean, the same people get the same stuff all the time, as long as they keep the bid under $1,500, doesn't even have to come to the board. See what I'm saying?
I'd say the 1,500 is
So-
more just a,
The problem is the board is where the problem is, that's why we have it at 1,500.
I'd just call it a telling fact of the dysfunction and distrust
Oh, yeah.
that goes on, and that like,
I think we
there's
should go to
such.
a board meeting. I think we should go to a board meeting, and this should be brought up at the township.
I can put it on the agenda and you guys can make a presentation.
I think the clerk's office and the supervisor's office are at odds all day, every day, and that some people in the clerk's office have determined that members of this park board are somehow friends or cronies of the supervisor, even though I don't know that any of us
No.
have talked to him or seen him
No,
ever at all, but
No,
like,
that wasn't.
they just wanna give us crap and,
No, it's
you
not
know,
Paul with
turn
you
the
guys,
screws.
it's Paul hooking up his own buddies with the township.
It's like, I don't even.
It's not.
We follow the
it's not
same
you.
threshold as the
Yeah.
entire township, it's checks and balances, it's.
That's
So
what I'm
Todd
saying, if
can't
anything's
go out
gonna
and hire
change,
Chaz
it's gotta be
to
across
go
the
do
board.
something for $5,000.
I
He's not
mean,
gonna do anything.
We presented a wish list and then went around to the parks and took pictures of playground equipment.
Well,
Like,
you know what, I brought
Hey,
it up
we're gonna get Paul's buddies.
I brought-
We're gonna get Paul's
I
buddies.
brought
Like,
that
I
up
haven't talked to
at
Paul
the
in 2
meeting.
years.
No, I
don't
brought
know
that
Paul.
up at the meeting,
Like-
cause Carol and Chris were there, that was one of the things I brought up. Cause Trudy and Krista went and took pictures of all the place, like, well, you guys are asking money for this, and this is broken, this is broken,
Ask
this
for a
is
wish
broken.
list.
I go, the work orders are in, the maintenance isn't doing it, that's the problem. And then that's when,
That's
I don't get any work orders, I don't get work orders to Trudy, I just call Trudy when
Well, the playground
stuff doesn't
equipment
work.
is like ordered
The
equipment. We're-
playground
So,
equipment that they
the
listed.
problem is-
It's just enough. I mean, I can keep coming with examples. How many examples?
This is my point. This
Yeah.
is my point, why, I
Yeah,
mean,
what are we doing?
between the four of you, it's like $12,000 a year. So over the 4-year term, it's $50,000 in wages for what? So that we can go out and spend $1,000 here and there. The next park board is gonna have $500,000, cause we can't spend any money. We can't get contractors to pick up the phone, we're not getting any work done. So,
well, that's why I say I think we need to go to a township board meeting, and you need to present that you went to such and such, this township does this township
When
does
I-
that. And that's the only thing that's gonna change, is if they see that, if it comes out and
It's-
they realize
Do-
that we are,
Do you want me to
not, you know,
have it put on as an agenda item?
I'd
No,
like to
because
have
I
it
need
put
to
on,
finish my
but he
homework
needs to,
first.
yeah,
Huh?
maybe
No.
the next time,
Let-
not this next time.
So when you're ready, you'll let me know and I'll have it put on the agenda?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
simple
I
enough.
think that would work.
Now, like what I want from you guys though, is
Well, it's not finished.
when the work orders aren't done, cause Paul already told me this. What's not done, Todd? Bring me what's not done. So you guys let me know what's not done, and I'll go, here you go, Paul, this is what's not done. So you may have to go back and look at whatever work orders you submitted or whatever, just so I can just bring it to Paul. Paul asked me, he goes, bring it to me, Todd, here you go.
Unfortunately, there truly aren't that many. There aren't that many, because honestly, I gave up filling out.
Yeah.
Because for so long, after I spent a whole lot of time and effort designing and making them and creating them, then I turned them in, I turned in 4 or 5, and they
Never
cherry
came
picked the
back.
ones they wanted done,
Uh-huh.
and they weren't coming back, which was the reason we developed them in the first place. The last parks
So
board.
you knew when they were done.
Yeah, the last parks board got things done or
Yeah.
didn't get things done and had no idea that they were done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we really don't have that many outstanding, the bleachers,
Right, bleachers is a big one.
Yeah, that's been a long time.
the
We
fence
got
which
them
they're fighting, the
delivered July
bleachers which they're
28th.
fighting.
So they're not gonna do the fence, we already
Fine.
said that, but the bleachers,
They
when
could
it
do
was
the
turned in?
bleachers.
Well, in terms of.
They
work
were
orders-
delivered July 28th to the
July
maintenance warehouse.
28th, the work orders were delivered,
No, the bleachers were actually delivered on site July 28th.
bleachers delivered, okay.
So I talked with Al on Monday, I met with them, and they are working on setting up a new procedure protocol for turning in work orders and in which order they will be done, and where they will be, and
What we did.
and where we can see them.
So, is he gonna get that?
We did that a year ago, and
Yeah, I
That's
thought
where we're
that
at.
was already done.
this was already done.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a whole page written up, they're proofreading it, asking people for input on it, so.
But is it gonna be just once a week? They're
If
gonna
it goes
let us
through,
know?
I don't know, but
Right.
it's further than it went last time, because it's written on paper.
The only addition outside of our maintenance, doing basic maintenance, would be I'll contact her and talk to her if you don't want to, or if you already have that info. We had discussed too with general wear and tear on all the playground equipment and doing checks and having our rep for Miracle Playground Equipment come annually,
Use it.
whenever,
She did that a couple of years ago.
to,
She sent.
and then give us a list of what's broken, are there replacement parts, do we need to do?
for free.
Yeah, she does a survey, she sent me the last one that she did. She also says that there's a guy out of Detroit, if we want an official, like, legal inspection, that there's a guy who does it, but he's not cheap.
Right.
But no, she does free, she sent me the last one, we haven't gone through it yet. She also sent me updates on the tires and the other used stuff.
All the equipment
She
was ordered.
I'm sorry, she
Okay.
did not send me an update on the use, on the stuff that we ordered. She sent me pricing for the
The stairs.
steps, yep, and something else. Oh, what did you need? You needed something.
The bent over,
Well, there's
Step.
one broken plastic piece, the green step up,
That's what
and
it
then the
was.
tires.
That's what it was. The tires are already ordered.
Yeah,
It's that,
already
it's
ordered,
that
yep.
step over. She
Yep.
sent me the price for that. And
Which has a
I made
construction
note.
drill
I'll
around
go
it.
through that tomorrow.
yeah, we should have her scheduled once a year to come
Yeah,
out here, go through.
That's what I'm
Probably at
saying,
the end of the
discuss
year.
their scheduling fall, like this
Right
time
about
frame,
now.
so we can get stuff ordered over winter,
Yep.
so we're,
Hopefully by spring, it's
spring
all
it'll
already
be in.
ordered,
hopefully,
so-
yeah. We ordered these parts months ago, and she told us they're on an 8 to 12 month back order. Like, there's nothing we can do with broken equipment.
Okay, anything else? Other than, we'll work on that. Parks update, Anstead, the Nature Conservancy was supposed to be out Thursday and Friday of last week. I did not get out to Anstead, so I don't know if they sprayed, I don't think I'd be able to tell if they sprayed anyway. I mean, not yet.
And that was for
Most of
the-
the stuff has died already.
That was for, yes, well, stuff is dying just because it's cold too.
Yeah,
so-
What was the
yeah,
name of
yeah.
that
I
plan?
know.
That was the spray for the.
Frag
Foliar
Fragmites.
spray, not at, yeah, Phragmites and Anstead, yes. 3 big clumps of Phragmites, and then loose strife, I think he was gonna hit because it's near the Phragmites, so.
Okay.
Those 2 things. That's all I got for Anstead. Carsgrove,
No update.
Parmalee,
Thursday, I'm meeting with the disc golf group at 5 o'clock, and then Saturday at 10.
all right.
Are they providing you any further stuff for the signage for?
Well, they sent, I guess, yeah, I mean, they sent,
Yeah.
they were supposed to be on the agenda, I guess we didn't exactly
All right.
get them on, I
Put
mean,
them on the agenda for next time too?
no, cause
No?
they sent the thing and you'll print it and send it to Bob, I guess, I mean, just.
Yeah, I already sent it to him. I didn't know if you wanted to reapprove it, just so we haven't updated all of that.
Should we reapprove it? Should we, like,
Is it the
motion?
same?
Probably, I just don't know if it has to be on the agenda in order for us to do that. Yeah, it's the same.
It- You wanna put it on the agenda
I'll
next
put it on
time,
the
and then
agenda.
I'll,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
better,
like,
you better
Yeah,
put
it
it on
should
the
be.
agenda.
I mean, I'll motion right now, you know, but
No, if we're gonna make.
No.
put it on the agenda, that's
Yeah,
fine.
Not on the
basically the way it boiled down with the disc golfers is they sent the W-9 in, but they didn't sign it. And it had been so long before it got to Bob that he is suggesting that we just get an updated quote, and an updated W-9 signed, which Aaron got today. So I
They
didn't get an
emailed it.
opportunity to print it off.
They
Right.
emailed it to
Yes.
us, and then, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I don't know, I mean, we'll do, but yeah, put that on for next time, good.
Okay. Samaria?
Samaria, parking lot got sealed, I have the forestry mulching being done, right now it's scheduled for October 13th.
Oh, it's soon.
So he already got his W-9 to me.
You said the
That's already
13th.
turned in,
That's
so-
Thursday, cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were hoping to get it before the volunteer day, just in case we had volunteers.
Right, if
but
we've got enough
If
people.
not, that's fine, we'll get some, you know.
Mhm.
So something figured out in the future for him, we're gonna get it cleared down, get, you know, he should get shredded down pretty well to where it's pretty close to ready for seed if we want grass seed, or if we wanna just every once in a while cut it down.
And see how he
Kick
does
back,
in,
yeah,
and
right. Maybe
the
use it.
trail in the fall or in the spring, use it to cut the trail.
Possibly even cut the trail in the fall, or spring, or even over the winter time.
Too wet.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Okay.
I don't know, depends on the weather.
You cut it before stuff starts
But
to grow.
we can see how he does it, we could potentially use him on the other parks, like,
Right.
instead of Wheeler, if needed. So,
Which we might,
he
because
seems pretty reasonable
this
for
grant
what
at
he's
the end
doing.
of the year is
I guess.
done, so
Mhm.
we'll be paying for spraying and everything else for those two parks. Okay, White? No updates.
White, White lost power Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, so 3D went around and checked all the breakers and couldn't figure out what it was.
See, it's
And,
that leaning pole.
and kept looking, and then they found a dead squirrel in the parking lot.
Oh,
A
boy.
squirrel shorted out a transformer. And so they called consumers, and consumers has them on their get to right away list, and as of my update this afternoon, they had not been out, but
Okay.
it doesn't really affect much, they just said basically they have food and concession stands, they're trying to keep warm up for teams and stuff, but
Okay.
that's all for White. Oh, sorry, and we have been painting the fence. My guy's been back out there working away when he can, so.
I saw two guys out there one day.
Great. All right, for Wheeler, they were supposed to be at Wheeler today, except they forgot it was a holiday, so tomorrow and Tuesday, they will be at Wheeler spraying, foliar spraying for various invasives. And I went out there last week to put the sign up to let everybody know that there was gonna be spraying going on. And I didn't realize Section Road was shut down and Whiteford Center was shut down and I couldn't get to the parking lot. So I had to set my car in the middle of the road and walked over and put the nail up and hung it up and then went back to the car. And yeah, but I went through today and it's all cleared out, so hopefully they'll be able to get in there tomorrow to do this spraying.
So, to piggyback off the Nature Conservancy, you did find out the grant is officially done after this year?
Yep.
So that's where we can look at like Perfilon,
Right.
500 application, 3 towns.
And Perfilon gave me an estimate for exactly $1,500.
Can they make it $14.99 and 99 cents?
Probably. Probably for that, for the.
It's 3 separate
It's just-
$500.
he just knows.
Can we look into just finding a company that, even if it's Perfilon, anybody, that we're not just, alright, we're gonna get this application from this company, now we're gonna try to figure this one out. Can we find a company that come through and look over the park and see what we gotta do and just start hitting the whole thing
I'm sure
for all
Perfilon
the
would do
different stuff,
that.
when
Yeah.
it needs to be done, cause I'm sure there's multiple different times a year it needs to be hit for certain species and
Yeah,
a
He
front
does
to
it-
back
he does
kind
it
of
twice
thing.
a year.
Otherwise,
But it was
there's no sense in kind of going to this little part of the park and then going over here and doing this, if the invasive species are all over and just, I mean, they're gonna keep spreading if we don't just do the whole thing,
right, I agree.
so.
Well, and the thing with the Nature Conservancy is, you know, they're willing to do it as part of the grant, so that's great. You know, spray as much as you can, get it done now, and then when we have to pay somebody to come out and keep doing it, we'll have to do it every year. You know, there's gonna be invasives coming, I mean, they just don't die, and then you don't have anything spring up again. A bird will drop a seed, or the wind will blow something in, and you'll have it again, so something we have to keep up with every year. Comments from the public? I
none
think we're all
present.
done.
George,
Okay.
anything?
Might you chop liver?
Come on, George, say something, no?
None?
All right.
All right.
Hey, George, just out of curiosity, who asked you to be here?
Township.
Perfect, thank you. Just wanted that on record.
I mean, Bob called me, so I don't know.
Okay, perfect.
All right, perfect. Okay,
Me?
anything?
Now, for, like you guys, if you want anything, since they're editing your letters, like the word you want to get out, whatever you guys need, I'll say it at board comment time, I can say whatever I want. So, do make up paragraphs, letters, whatever you need the public to know, give it to me. They can't censor me. If they do, I stick it on Bedford Unleashed and everyone finds out anyways. If I know, Bedford knows, it's as simple as that, that's how it should be.
Well, that's one way to get it out there.
Okay.
Aaron, you're good? I've got nothing else. second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a good night, guys.
I'm gonna use
All right.